high school, did you go straight to college or you went to law enforcement?
No, I went to college, went to Long Beach State, and I went there for the 3.5 years when I graduated. However, I did get to work in the jail for my last 2 years of college. When I was like 19 years of age, I started working as a jailer, a civilian jailer. And then when I finished school, and then at the age of 21, 22, I went through the police academy.
So what is a civilian jailer?
See, you have two types of correctional officers in California. They didn't have these, what they call these correctional officers now, like they do now. Yeah. But they used to make the sheriff deputies work the jail. So like, it used to take you like 7 to 8 years before you got on the streets in LA County. You used to go through the academy and everything, and then you go straight to the jails. And so city police departments, they, when they put guys through the police academy, they needed them straight on the streets. So what they did is they created a civilian a job where they called them jailers, and where they wasn't really police officer status. They didn't have as much training as police officers. And so I did that from the age of 19 and 20. Worked in the jail for the city of Compton.
Okay, cool. So
they still have those positions for city departments.
Okay.
So when you were working there as a civilian jailer, did you end up coming across the guys you grew up with?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry, buddy.
No. When you were working as a jailer, did you come across some of the guys you grew up with?
Oh, yeah. That happened quite often, and that was a problem because you know how hard it is already policing each other, especially policing each other or having that type of authority at 19. 19-year-olds. And so 19 and 18 and 20-year-olds already don't want to listen to each other. And God forbid somebody older that comes in, that's 23, 24. So I had those issues, but luckily I had learned at an early age, and I had a father that was kind of like he was ahead of that community policing. And so I had my issues. I'm not going to try to sit up here and say I wasn't a little heavy-handed or a little, what we used to call it, badge heavy, or have a heavy badge or whatever. But I think I was a little bit tame because my father would pull me a coattail a lot and be like, hey, we don't treat people like that, or you ain't got to be treating people like that. And because he was, my grandmother she worked for EDD, which is the program in the state of California where they help people get jobs and stuff like that. So they were really in a social worker type of family. So they all came from Watts, which is an Imperial Court housing projects, and has 16. My father is a product of 16, 17 total, but he has 16 siblings. And so they went through a lot growing up, and, they knew about poverty, but the main thing they knew about family and taking care and being respectful to people.
Yeah.
So with your father being in law enforcement, did you always kind of know you were going to go that direction? Was it kind of expected?
That was my childhood hero. Quite frankly, I thought I was going to be more. My goal was to be in law enforcement. Was to be be attorney. And then it was even thinking higher, maybe like a FBI agent or a DEA agent once I was going to college. But my biggest fear was, and I really wish that I didn't do, was I started making money at the age of 19. And when you just start making money, you want to do more, and then you just and I got hired as a cop, and I think that derailed further in my education. And I really wish I would have stayed in school and went to the HBCU school or something like that. Yeah. It's been different and went further along than just having a bachelor's degree. maybe get in law school or at least try for bigger agencies like the FBI or DEA, government agencies.
Yeah.
So in '89, you become a cop. When you joined the force, did you see any corruptions, anything?
Well, when that's a hard question to answer. I mean, of course, you see people get slapped that probably shouldn't have been slapped. You may have saw. I didn't see people didn't outright do that unless you're a part of that, planting drugs and stealing drugs and stuff like that from each other.
Yeah.
Of course, there were rumors. Of course, there were people that got arrested and set up during those times that worked for us, or worked, that were my partners and stuff like, that worked in the city. So that did happen, but generally, when stuff like that happens, it's because, or they do it in front of you, it's because you're a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you only really heard about it versus seeing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.